Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this KAIWEETS KM601s Smart Digital Multimeter. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So this is the KM601s. Now they have a KM601. The difference is this uses rechargeable batteries, whereas the other model uses regular batteries. So let's get this open. So we have a nice case here, and here we have the manual. Let's take a quick look at it. So this has lots of functionality on it, and we'll see that here in the manual. So it looks like there's 25 pages, and you'll want to read through this on your own. Here's a product overview. So we have the charge jack, the NCV sensor, so that's the non-contact voltage, power button, alarm indication light, LCD display, function buttons, amp jack, milliamp jack, comm jack, input jack, and flashlight. This talks about the functions of the buttons. You can pause and read through that. So a lot of these buttons, you may press it for one function and you may hold it down for another. These are the different symbols for the different functions. So this has voltage, AC current, diode test, capacitance test, fuse, frequency duty ratio, current DC voltage, ground, live wire, damaged fuse, audible continuity test, low battery, double insulated, resistance test, non-contact voltage, manual mode, and smart mode. So this talks about the terminals. So for everything you'll use COM, the black will go in there, and then most things will use the red in input, but when you're doing current, you use milliamps or amps depending on how much current you're measuring. Now when you switch it to a certain mode, it will light up the terminals you need to plug into. So this is talking about different measurements. So this has a smart mode, so this will try to guess what you're using it for. You can also use manual mode. So it's good to learn how to use both. You don't want to rely on smart mode all the time because sometimes it may not work for things, so you want to know how to use the manual mode. So this is talking about resistance measurement, continuity, diode test, capacitance measurement, voltage. Here's maintenance, and here are the specs. You can pause and read through those. So this is a 10,000 counts multimeter. Here are the accuracy specs. Here's some more. So this also has a thermocouple probe. So let's open this up. It comes with this semi-hard case. And here are the probes and the charge cable. Let's pull the meter out. So this has a pull-out stand, like so. Has a hard rubber coating on the outside. We have that light on the back. Charge port is up here. Power button. Here we have the screen, the inputs, and the buttons to control it. There's also plastic on the front here. I'll pull that off. So let's look at the charge cable. So this uses a DC barrel jack that will plug in here. And we can plug this into a USB charger. So plug that in there. And it's currently charging at 0.38 amps. And this says 80% on the battery. So let's look at the probes here. So this is the temperature probe. So you can see that there. And here are the multimeter probes. So this looks like it's Cat 4. And if we pull these off, it says Cat 2. It says max 10 amps here. Has some kind of grippiness to it. The other end has little caps. Those will come out. And those can plug in here. So that can plug into COM and input. So 80% should be enough to demonstrate this. So I'll unplug that. And I'll turn off my light here so we can see this better. I have a very bright light shining at it. Okay, so when it was plugged in, we saw that. So there's a little bit of flickering here in the camera, but I don't see that in person. So let's try some functions. We can hold down this button here to turn on the flashlight. So this isn't going to be a super bright light, but it can work in a pinch. If you're trying to read a part number off of something, this could be good. Or you could maybe shine this on a component you're trying to test. So I don't know that I'd use that for my primary light, but it's nice having a little extra light there. So this is in auto mode. So let's test something. Here I have a battery. So I will touch the positive to the plus, negative to the minus. There we go. And it's showing us 1.59 volts. So this is a zinc chloride battery. Here's an alkaline battery. Here I have some mains electricity. So if you're going to measure this, you need to know how to do it properly. So I'm going to take the covers off here. I'll measure this. So we're getting 120.4 volts. Of course, I can also measure hot to ground. We've got 120.4 there too. Now let's try and measure a resistor. So hold this on here. So it's saying 0.7 ohms. Now what we're hearing there is the continuity. So if I hold these together, it will beep. So let's see if I had that right. I don't know the value of this one. It's saying 0.4 ohms. Here I have a 10K resistor. Let's try it. Okay, so we're getting 9.99, so that's correct. Here we have a capacitor. So this is an electrolytic capacitor. We want to look at the polarity, so I'll do black to negative, red to positive. So hold that on there. And it doesn't seem to be recognizing that as capacitance. So we're going to break out of auto mode and we'll press this here. So this can go left or right. So let me zoom in on this a little bit. So I'm going to go to capacitance here. Let's try measuring that again. Okay, we got 108.1 and this is 120. So you want to hold it on when you're measuring a capacitor. Now here I have a capacitor that's bulged at the top. This is a bad capacitor. And this is 330. So let's measure it. And you can see we're not getting a good measurement on that. So let's go back to resistance. And here we have a resistor. So when we're measuring that, we can press hold. And it will hold the value. We can also change the range. So here we have kilo ohms, mega ohms, and you can see it's changing the decimal point there. We can also do min-max or relative. Let's go to continuity. So that's continuity. This should beep when I touch these. And it's also measuring the resistance there. Let's try some of these other modes. So we have millivolt. Let's go to non-contact voltage. So I have this power cable. I have my USB charger here. Let's hold it up to that and you can see there's voltage going through this line. Let's go to the temperature probe. So for that we'll pull this out. Now you can see these are flashing here. And let's go through this here. Let's go to capacitance. You can see this is telling us what to plug into. Let's go to amps. And these are flashing here because you need to change the input to this one if you're going to do amps. Let's go to temperature. We'll pull these probes out and we'll plug in the temperature probe. Okay, so we have the temperature up here. So we have Fahrenheit here at 71, Celsius is here, 21. So I'll hold my fingers on here and we can see that climbing up. I'll let go. It's going to drop back down. So I'd say that's relatively responsive. So if we want to go back to auto mode, we'll press this to go around and it will stop on auto mode. So you want to go to the left or right all the way and you're back at auto mode. So let's do a diode test. So we'll go back into COM and input and we'll go to diode, which is here. And here I have a little diode. So I'm going to hold it in one direction. I'm getting nothing. And I'll hold it in the opposite. And we're getting voltage. So that diode is good. So that's the KAIWEETS KM601s Smart Digital Multimeter. I really like how easy this is to use, has lots of functionality on it, has an easy to see screen. A multimeter like this could be used by an electronics hobbyist. You could do some appliance repair, automotive repair. I like that this is rechargeable, so you can just keep it charged up. You don't have to keep buying batteries for it. I do like the size of this. It fits in my hand really nicely. I could even operate this one-handed like a smartphone. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.